Hello everyone, this is Tyson. Today I'm making a video about sharing a book that I've recently read. And the reason why I'm doing this is because in the meantime I got no job but a lot of free time. Just kidding. But true that I want to give myself a challenge which is called a daytuber thing, since I've been watching a lot of YouTubers sharing books, sharing their own opinion, ideas, and all kinds of stuff. So I thought if I could make one on my own, that would be awesome. And as you can tell, I've already made a version in Chinese. So now I'm making it in English, and perhaps sometime later I will make it in German and in Taiwanese. Because these are the 4 languages I can speak, but not so fluently. So by making this video, I believe that I will be able to improve my language skill and also build my confidence and be more comfort and casual to speak openly, because it feels like giving a public speech. In addition, I'll be doing this video a bit differently from what you might expect it, because I believe that actions speak louder than words. So instead of telling you what this book is about, I'll be more focusing on what exercises we should do. And through these exercises, we can change our way of thinking, and maybe step by step we can gradually become the person we want to be. If you're ready, here we go. Let's start it. So let's start with the book now. First of all, this is a German book, so I don't know exactly what the English title for this book is, but I believe the direct translation from German would be I Catch You, Win People for Themselves. A former agent revealed the best strategy. So the main storyline of this book is about how this former agent recruited his informant. And there are several important things in these recruiting actions, including, first of all, you have to be attractive enough so that people would like to talk to you. And second, it's not only for him, but also for us in real life, that it's difficult to chat someone up without scaring them off. And third, how to build up a close relationship in such a short time, because for him it's a mission, not just for fun. And the last one, how to keep this relationship even when something awful happened. Like in this book, for example, he would have to finally reveal his identity of being an agent, and it would put much pressure on this informant. So how to overcome this critical situation would be important for him. However, all these above mentioned ideas I'm not discussing with you here, because we're now skipping forward to our next chapter, exercises. First exercise, appreciate other people's merit and ignore their flaws. Whether at work or at school, you must have someone that you don't like or don't even want to talk to. But the truth is that you only see the bad things in them. And when you're not appreciating them, you're actually seeing things in a negative way. So according to this book, we should all put 80% of our attention on other people's strengths and only 20% on their weakness or flaws. So that way, with these things in a positive way. And by this practice, you will find yourself gradually being able to see all kinds of things in a positive perspective. Second, learn from your friends. Find out your latest close friend and try to discover why they become your close friend. They must have done something right, like do you a favor, or they must possess some kind of good quality, or they're just simply good listeners. Find out why and try to learn from them. The third exercise contains 2 parts. The first part is to write a success diary. In this diary, it should consist of all kinds of stories which describe your glorious accomplishment, because it helps build your confidence. And when you look back on it, you will find out that you have accomplished so many things in your lives. These stories doesn't have to be so magnificent, but it does have to be meaningful to yourself. And the second part is to find out a way to tell this story, because you don't want to tell them directly how great you are. You want to tell them an interesting story. By telling the story, it already revealed your good quality, so they will find out how good you are naturally. You don't have to tell them on purpose. The next exercise is to review one of your goals and check if it meets the SMART rule. What is the SMART rule? SMART is actually shortened by S, specific, and measurable. You should be able to measure if this goal meets your criteria. For example, you want to lose weight, so maybe 1 kilogram every 2 weeks. And A, attractive. This goal, this purpose must be attractive enough so that you would have an urge to finish it. R, realistic. For example, if you want to be an astronaut, how? It's not realistic. It must be close related to your everyday life. The simpler the better. The final one, T, time limit. You should set up a deadline. Otherwise, you will just be wasting time and putting it off every time you got some obstacle in the way. So set up a deadline would help you keep track of how many % that you have accomplished this goal. The fifth exercise is to write down 3 methods that you think would give a good impression to the person you first meet. Or maybe 3 mistakes that you would like to avoid next time you meet someone new. Take me for example, a friend of mine told me that whenever I meet someone for the first time, I always do this. And it's not good because it shows that I'm not open-minded enough and that I put up some kind of a guard to separate myself from others. So I write it down and that I would remind myself every time I met someone that I would try to avoid not doing this again. 6. Keep a note of all your funny stories. Do you remember that in Friends season 6 episode 12 that Chandler and Ross, they were fighting over who had invented the monkey joke? And after the fight, Chandler started to write down every joke that he tells. So I think it's a pretty good method if you want to be a humorous person, because the truth is that we are all fun and humorous person. It's just sometimes that we are nervous or stressed due to some certain occasion, so we're not relaxed enough. So when we panic, we forget that we're all humorous and fun. So by doing this exercise, you get to keep track of all your jokes or the way how you tell funny stories. And next time when something awkward comes, you won't panic anymore. 7. Try to start a casual conversation with total strangers. You must have that experience that when you try to talk to someone you had a crush on or you admire for a long time, you'll probably get sweat and your heart beats so fast and you couldn't even finish a word, you start to stammer and then your mind go absolute blank. So it's quite common that when you talk to someone you care so much, you would probably act like that, but it will usually end up just scaring them off. So what you need is try to practice with total strangers that you don't even care a bit, because through this practice you will build yourself up how to take it easy, how to take it casual, and then finally you will find yourself just talking to people and you won't be worried so much how they might act, because you're already practiced enough to pretend that you're someone that doesn't even care. The next exercise would be to write down 3 hypothetical questions. The crazier, the better. Because in most parties, events, people are always surrounded by 3 or 4 basic topics, like the weather, your education, where you work, what's your working experience, and sometimes politics. So it gets bored quite easily and fast. And what you need is to make people think that you're an interesting person. So you bring up some imaginative question to show that you're a person with full of imagination. And that's the time that we need to forget our real life and try to be creative. So topics like, what do you think is going to be in 50 years? Maybe a robot generation, what's going to be like in this world? Or maybe one day we don't eat chicken or any meat anymore. Instead, we eat artificial food. So what's your opinion about that? So you can bring up things like these kind of topics so that you can inspire people to think more about some hypothetical question. And sometimes it brings fun. So you can start from now to write down as many as possible questions. The last exercise would be try to arrange a well-planned date or meeting, or just simply a trip with your friends, because it shows how you're reliable and you're someone who can count on. And so in How I Met Your Mother, Season 3, Episode 13, there was an example of how Ted arranged a delicate date, 2-minute date with Stella, and that's how he impressed Stella. So that's what we want to do, because even though our real life is not like a soap opera plot, but we can still make some fun out of it. So here are all the 9 exercises I want to share with you, and hope it helps you, or maybe you can give me some feedback or of which exercise you have chosen to do, and maybe you can share with me of your own stories perhaps. Thank you for watching. See ya.